welcome to the Glazov gang. Tonight, our tough and streetwise and intellectual gangsters are Dwight Schultz, a Hollywood actor who played Murdoch on NBC's The A-Team, and he's still losing weight, and 32-0, undefeated in fight clubs underground in the city of Los Angeles. Nonie Darwish, a modern-day freedom fighter, the author of her latest book, The Devil We Don't Know, The Dark Side of Revolutions in the Middle East. And Volarik, a canceled Czech. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Glazov gang. Borek, quickly, why are you a canceled Czech?
Well, when I defected from then communist Czechoslovakia in 1980 with my wife, we became bound Czechs. Then, 6 years later, in 1986, we acquired American citizenship. They cancelled our Czechoslovakian citizenship. Since then, we've been cancelled Czechs. And my wife is my Czechmate.
But are you a canceled Egyptian? No.
Well, I'm American first and foremost, and from Egyptian origin.
And canceled something?
Canceled TV series, a lot of canceled TV series.
A lot of things get canceled.
I've been fired from a lot of jobs.
You've been fired from a lot of jobs?
Yeah.
You look like the kind of guy that when you get fired, they don't even tell you. It's a mutual understanding between you.
I said show business is the only profession in the world in which you were fired 2 years ago and didn't know it.
You know, the story of my life, I used to be a waiter in the restaurant industry, and sometimes it was just a mutual understanding. I would go home and know not to come back, but nothing was ever said.
Do you use a pressure cooker at home now?
Ladies and gentlemen, from the world of buffoonery and jokes to the serious issues of our time, the new developments. There are 3 new accomplices, it appears. These 3 young punks, if that's one word to describe them. I think some worse words could be used. Hey, look, we're not sure at the moment, but it looks like accomplices after the fact, or conspiracy or something, but we know that afterwards they threw some stuff away that Dzhokhar owned to try to save him and for him not to get in trouble. And there's also been obstruction of justice, etc. Something the media is also not saying. From Kazakhstan, 2 of them, it appears, are Muslims. That will never be said by our media, let alone our president. What are these new developments about with these 3 Muslim musketeers, or 2 of them Muslim anyway? Dwight?
Well, first of all, if you go back to the original 9/11, there were a lot of student visas that had expired, and nobody was checking on it. Well, 2 of the 2 ex-Chechens had their visas their student visas are bad now because they weren't attending their classes, and nobody was checking up on their student visas. So we have a situation that is repetitive. We haven't learned really anything. And of course, you have a president and a head of the CIA and an attorney general who don't even want anyone in the government to talk about who or what they are and what they represent. So you have nobody really looking for what we all know is there, which is radical Islamists. And what was the term that self-radicalized? Self-radicalized. A little bit, add water, and then 10 minutes later, instant radicalization. It's unbelievable what we're looking at. You have a president of the United States who will not protect the American people because he won't use the words to describe what we are facing. It is a worldwide problem. They hate us. They want to kill us. Yeah. And you just saw the Pew Research? 40% in the Palestinian territories believe suicide bombing is... It was almost 30% in Egypt with the Muslim Brotherhood. 30%. That is what we're facing.
But Dwight, also, this bizarre, if that's another word to use, because look, every day that I'm waking up and watch the news, my jaws just dropped open every day. There's something very surreal and frightening. It's a horror show because we have this evil attacking us, and our leadership and our media every day is scrambling, trying to say that that's not who's doing it.
That's right.
And
He played dodgeball.
Yeah, and it's creepy. And so now in this press conference, as you say, Obama's talking about how they're alone and they radicalize themselves. But, you know, how did they, like, you know, I'll be honest with you. I was reading the Gospel of John the other day and reading the New Testament. And, you know, I'll be honest, I don't feel like blowing myself up after reading the Gospel of John. I don't feel the instinct to go and kill other people when I read the Gospel of John. That might just imply that not all religions are equal, and we know that the left cannot accept that, and that's part of this. Nonie?
Well, I want to ask a question that was never asked. Where are all these Chechen students getting their money to come to the United States to get an education? Where are all these Egyptians? Do you know that the average income in countries is like $50 a month? I want to know, all these Arab kids, who is financing their education?
Driving Mercedes?
Yeah, who's financing their education in the United States? And I will tell you who. It's Saudi Arabia. They are sending Chechen kids on purpose because Chechens, it's already known they look white, so they can blend more than Saudis. They can wear their baseball hat backwards and look perfectly American if they don't open their mouth, and they can do terrorism. Saudi Arabia and terrorists and radical groups are recruiting these Chechens and these Kazakhstanis and all of these nationalities because they don't look Arab. They don't look very Arab. So wake up, America. These people have no money to come get an education in the United States. Check who's financing them in the United States. All these Egyptian students that are coming here in the United States when I can't afford sending my kids to college campuses inside the United States, and we have to ask for student loans, and I have to go in debt to send my kids. Who's sending this? Why are they sending them? And they are choosing and picking up the most radical students, the ones who hate America. They send them on visas for students to join the Islamic Muslim Student Association, and they don't attend lectures, and they're very active politically.
Yeah, thank you so much, Nonie. And look, this is another tragedy here because this is all interwoven with quote-unquote multiculturalism and quote-unquote diversity, and within that you get the terrorists and the intolerant who want to destroy us but exploiting our tolerance to kill our tolerance. That's the problem. And after this happens, the president announces that, well, we do know one thing is let's not blame multiculturalism and the policy of diversity. In other words, what's causing this should not be looked at. It's mind-boggling.
Jimmy, sometimes I feel like living in Fahrenheit 451 and 1984. It's like a mixture of Bradbury and Orwell. The hero of Orwell's 1984, I think it was Frank Owen, his job was purging words. Purging words from books.
Yeah.
Okay? And the guy in Bradbury's book was destroying books, right? Burning the books. They say when they burn books, they will burn people soon too. Anyway, if you purge all the words like Muslim, terrorists, Islamists from the language, we can't even name our enemy. We can't even name the evil. So how do we fight the evil if we can't say evil?
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, let's just wrap this up, though, with these extra 3 accomplices for now. Again, this is much wider. They're not just these 2 people acting alone. And now, what are, very briefly, the conclusions to this? That it's a wider net. How is this is constantly interfering in Obama's narrative. Because the narrative they want is it's just this one person who got upset that he lost a boxing match, and then he went and blew up some people.
Look, they've already, the accomplices have already admitted that when they found out that who it was, that they knew him, they didn't call the FBI. They went to help their friends. There wasn't a single Muslim that we know of that called the FBI to say, hey, you know, this guy, Tamerlan, he was in the mosque. We know who he is. Later they came out, after he was killed, and said, oh yeah, he was a problem. Even we kicked him out. I don't believe it. I don't believe that.
Okay, this is a lie.
Yeah, that's got to be.
First of all, in the mosque, that guy, that Chechen murderer, the terrorist, he attacked the speaker during the sermon.
Yeah,
and that's why they kicked him out. They didn't kick him out because he's a radical Islamist. That is a lie. They want to rehabilitate the image of Islam. Oh, the mosque kicked him out. They kicked him out because he interrupted the sermon and accused the speaker of being, he compared Muhammad with Martin Luther King. How dare you compare? That's all he did. He attacked the speaker. And if the mosque was legitimate, really, they kicked him out because he was a radical. Then how come they didn't call the FBI and report him on the spot? All of this machinery that's happening today, so whether it's Saudi Arabia, whether it's the mosque, whether it's CARE, they're all now wanting to rehabilitate the image of Islam. That's all they care about. And Obama is helping them. The media is like, everybody doesn't want to talk about Islam. It's almost like, I'm scared. Here is a former Muslim who's not scared. You are all cowards.
Here. Thank you for your bravery and courage, Nonie, in an environment of cowardice in our leadership and in our media. Borek?
I think it was 2 weeks ago on this very show. I wasn't here, but I think it was on this show. Like, you guys actually discussed how desperately the left wishes the terrorist would be a white American.
Yeah.
And yes, it was a Muslim. Yeah. Now, the left, with the same desperation, hopes that they were lone wolves and knock-off terrorists, as Uncle Joe said, right? Now, guess what? They will probably be proven a part of wider conspiracy. But right now, lone wolf. And hold that stance as long as you can. When it busts, deny.
Very creepy, surreal times, ladies and gentlemen. Another strange story. In the UK Daily Mail reported that the Saudis had already warned in writing the Americans about Tamerlan. But then there's denials from the United States, and also there's retractions from the Saudis. Mm-hmm. But the story was that the Saudis had already warned America last year about him. What do you make of this thing, too? This is very strange.
Well, there's only one source, and that is the Daily Mail. They're the only source, and many news agencies need two sources. And as we talked about earlier, it's already been denied. So we will have to wait on this. However, I understand that it was given to Homeland Security and Janet Napolitano, who, before knowing anything, said, it goes no further than these two boys, even though she didn't know anything. And so that's the level of expertise that we're dealing with. Yeah. We can't trust anything that we hear, and we have no news media. Think about it. We have no news media to investigate. None. Zero.
Well, this is the thing, Dwight, that why it's so believable is that in our administration does not want this news, they don't want it to be true.
That's right.
So it's not a surprise because we already know that the Russians had given us certain warnings, right?
It counteracts everything that Obama's trying to do.
Well, he's taken Islam, jihad, everything out of intelligence training manuals. So it's like during the Cold War that we're fighting communism, but we're not allowed to ask communist spies if they like Marx or Lenin or use the word communism. It's crazy. Nonie?
Jamie, what Saudi Arabia now is doing, what all of the Islamic world is obsessed with, and Arab media is obsessed with, reforming the image of Islam. So everything, when you watch the news in the Arab world, it's all about Islam has nothing to do with it. And what happened is Obama adopted this this, in my opinion, is a fallacy. It's not true. It's all about Islam. But we're just the yes sir for Saudi Arabia now. So Saudi Arabia, what they did is, because Russia warned the United States about this Muslim, some Saudi sources wanted to, experiment with a trial balloon. Oh, we also warned America because Saudi Arabia is against terrorism. They want to show their image as anti-terrorism, and Islam is anti-terrorism, and it has nothing to do with Islam. They put this trial balloon out, and then, of course, what happens is our Homeland Security was denied it right away. They said, we got nothing from the Saudis, and then the Saudi ambassador in D.C. announced, this is true, it's not true. We never warned the United States or Homeland Security about anything about these two people. Yeah. And they even denied that he applied for a visa for Hajj, because they claimed, he even wanted to come to Saudi Arabia to perform Hajj.
Thank you.
And we rejected him.
Yeah.
If they are going to reject terrorists, Saudi Arabia, from entering Saudi Arabia, let me tell you, be half the visitors of Saudi Arabia.
Thank you, Nonie. And there's just this shady house of mirrors going on everywhere. The Saudis are engaged in a game. The Obama administration's engaged in a game. We have an enemy trying to kill us, and the leaders and the media on all sides are denying who's killing us. Borek,
first
briefly,
of all,
please.
yeah, it used to be, it's the economy stupid. Now it's Islam stupid. There was a golden rule of Czech underworld, okay, which says, deny, deny, deny. And when they bust it open, deny again. That's how I feel our Obama's administration is behaving right now. Just like the Czech underworld before the World War.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've studied the left my entire life. I reached the conclusion from early on that it is a suicidal impulse. We see it in our White House and our media today, and they are killing us. Join us for the second segment of the Glazov Gang when we discuss Benghazi Gate whistleblowers being threatened. We'll see you then.